So here it comes at last. The very last Playboy magazine with any nudity has arrived. Okay, I'm a month late. It came out in December. But you can still buy it at your local magazine shop. I've recently rekindled my interest in collecting Playboy magazines. Most of my collection is from the early 2000s, about 2000 to 2004. Although I have some from the 90s as well, and some from the 80s and the late 70s. To be told the truth, they weren't actually mine, they were my dad's. And I've taken them because no one else in my family's had any interest in them. Now these Playboy magazines that I possess are of good quality. It's all naked women, very little articles, or no articles at all in most of them. You won't find a single penis in any of those magazines because that's not what they're there for. They're there for viewing pictures of naked women, which is not pornography, because pornography is a dirty thing, and it's all over the internet, and it's very poor quality nudity, in my opinion. So I purchased the magazine, the last Playboy with Pamela Anderson on the cover. This runs until about February 2016, and it's the last issue with any nudity in it. And the nudity is sparse. I hadn't bought a magazine in a very long time, so I guess things just went downhill. There is some nudity in it. In about 130 pages, there's about 40 pages with nudity in it. Well, what I would consider nudity. There's a couple pictures here and there of women fully clothed, which is not what should be in a Playboy magazine. It should be all naked women. And you can thank the people who were against it, particularly lesbians and homosexuals, who looked down their noses at it because they thought it was sexist towards women. I think it was glorifying the female form. I think it was just a good thing, and a lot of young guys really like these sort of magazines and things like that. Of course, we live in an age where people don't want to pay for things, so they just go to the internet. But to be honest with you, there isn't actually much nudity on the internet that's any good. Most of the naughty websites are have very poor quality models, and it's just not very good. And there's not much nudity, there's no nudity at all on Facebook. You may go on a couple of sites that are specifically geared towards men looking at women, but they're not very good. They'll have a few pictures of a few attractive women, and then it'll sort of kind of peter out. And yeah, getting back to this last issue of Playboy, I think that's the end of an era and a very sad thing that this has to go. I see no reason why they couldn't just keep pumping out new magazines, because I'm a collector, as I told you. I like to have possessions, and well, this magazine was a bit of a letdown on some things. It did have a few good folding pictures that folded into a bigger picture. It had two in there that were pretty decent. I'd never heard of any of those models before, but they were quite young and attractive. Yeah, Playboy had seriously gone downhill. It's all tabloids and articles and things like that in there now. They even had an article on Miley Cyrus. She would have to make an appearance in Playboy, wouldn't she? But not as a nude model, obviously. Come to think of it, I don't even know how old she is. She must be over 18. Anyway, that's not important. She just happened to be in the Playboy magazine, that's all. She wasn't actually a nude model or anything like that. My collection is a few hundred magazines. I'm just in the middle of organizing them right now so I can catalog them. I wish they were all in impeccable shape, but they're not. Some of them are a little bit beat up, but for the most part, they're all in pretty good shape. And yeah, that's just one of the things I like to collect. I got Playboy cards too, where it's not, a whole bunch of written dialogue on it. It's just a picture of a naked woman, and that's all I'm looking for. And I don't think that's too much to ask for. I think it would be a very sick world we live in if you have to go to the internet and watch some dirty, disgusting porn to look at naked women. Maybe the lesbians and the homosexuals thought that those magazines perpetuated an unfair stereotype of what a beautiful woman should look like, and they don't want women to feel bad about themselves, like fat shaming or whatever. But I think they've just taken away a cool thing away from us, which is the original style of Playboy Magazine, where it's just one page is a naked woman, the next page is a naked woman, the next page is a naked woman, the next page is a naked woman, and the whole book is just filled with pages of naked women. That's the way a Playboy Magazine should be. And I'm kind of annoyed. This last issue was worth getting, and I got 2 copies actually. One for reading, and one I'm going to keep in the plastic, because it's the end of an era, as I said. And it's yeah, it's a bummer. No getting away from it. And I'm not going to mince words here. I have the strongest impression that it's the lesbians and the homosexuals that are to blame for this. They probably lobbied for years and years and years for Playboy to change their ways. And because I know I went to a website and they said it was a long, hard battle to get nudity out of Playboy. And they said it was passé because the internet you can watch nudity on the internet. And it's not the same thing. They're training us to be like little mole men living in caves looking at our computer screens. And that's not how I want to do things. It's not how I want to live my life. I like having possessions, as I said, and collections. It doesn't mean I view women as possessions or collections. I don't. But these particular articles of magazines with nude pictures of women, they are possessions. So that's different. That's not the same thing at all. Oh, it's so aggravating. Can't even buy a Playboy magazine anymore. And not only that, the paper quality has gone downhill on these things. Like, they're basically like a cheap old magazine you can get at any grocery store. And the old Playboy magazines were made with fine printed paper. It had the right thickness to it. It looked the right way. It shimmered the right way. And that's gone now. And it's all because too many people are too cheap to go buy a magazine. Who knows what they spend their money on, but it's going to be equally stupid stuff. Or even worse, or even more stupid stuff. This is bothersome. It's going to take a while to get over this. I mean, I have plenty of Playboy magazines of my own now, so it's not that big a deal, but, the thought that there'll never be another one is a major bummer. I disagree, though. I don't think there will never be one again, because people will get the right mindset eventually, and maybe they'll come back. Maybe. Hopefully they come back at some point. Well, that's what I got. Yeah, so if you watched this video and you liked it, hit subscribe. Don't have to if you don't want to, though. Whatever. Yeah, thank you for watching.